This isn't real.
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Hello, good to see you again. Glad you're sticking with me. As you are aware from the thumbnail and video title, this video will be on knowledge, epistemology style. I pray I'm pronouncing that right. So before I get started, you will notice that I'm in a kind of a strange place. Somebody booked out the room that I typically record in, so I am recording in the gym. I hope nobody comes to use it. Okay, so jumping right in. What is knowledge? Personally, I think knowledge is a verb. I think knowledge is an adjective, and knowledge is not a noun. Knowledge as a noun does not exist. Knowledge with a capital K, like this is and is irrefutable, does not exist. To me, to suggest you know something is to suggest it is irrefutable and you have evidence of this. Personally, I don't think anything is irrefutable. I don't think knowledge can be obtained. However, that's just my opinion. I'm a skeptic. Now, it's believed, this quote is believed to have been attributed to Plato. Excuse me. But in philosophical circles, knowledge is typically considered to be what they call justified, true belief, often abbreviated as JTB or TJB. Now this has been refuted. Way back in Plato times, Plato's like, hey bud, in order for you to have actual knowledge of a thing, you have to have a reason to believe the thing that you do, justification, sorry. You have to have a reason to believe it. It has to be correct, you have to be right, and you have to believe it. You have to be confident in your belief. And if you have all three of those things, you have knowledge. And now in the 60s, this dude showed up, this Gettier dude. And he's like, yeah, but not necessarily though. There are lots of cases where you can have a reason to believe something and be justified in believing it and truly believe it and be wrong. It's not hard to come up with examples. I'm not going to try to come up with one off the top of my head, so I'm going to use one that I saw in a video. It may have been Gettier's example itself. So imagine you are in a field with hills in it, a hilly field, and you see a woolly, large, fluffy, white creature standing on a hill, on the top of a hill. And then you say, there is a sheep on that hill. You go over to the hill, and you look at the large white animal, and it turns out to have been a large dog. However, on the other side of the hill, where you could not see, there is a sheep. So you were correct. Did you have knowledge? No, you did not. So kind of like Gettier came in and said, technically not. Technically, being justified, being correct, and believing it does not lead to knowledge. Now, I've been trying to think of things to add to justified true belief, and I've come up with a lot of them. I'm not going to remember most of them off the top of the head. Let's go with verified. You could call that justified. Re-verified, because I believe a fact is only factual in the moment that it's factual and for that moment alone. And then the likelihood of it becoming non-factual increases over time as it is not observed. I think that is an absolute necessary viewpoint to go forward with in order to further the cause of whatever it is you're trying to analyze. Now, the school of skepticism, which so far is the school that I agree with the most, suggests that nothing can be truly known. Nothing. Nothing. There is no capital K knowledge. You must be thinking, Will, surely you believe you must know something. Something must be irrefutable to you. Something must be known. Is the earth not round? Yeah, probably. It probably is. However, I have not personally experienced that. through witnessing it from orbit. And I can imagine possibilities in which I could be deceived. I could be dreaming. It could be a number of things. I don't want to spend too much time standing here going, thinking of examples, but you see the point I'm going for here. Now, don't get me wrong. The Earth is round. I hope I said Earth and not sun, because I was debating using the Earth rotates around the sun and the Earth is round as this example. Either way, so don't get me wrong. I believe the Earth is not flat. I believe the Earth is not flat. I believe it is most likely the picture we've all seen, what we all imagine it to be. However, speaking in absolutes limits further expansion of the mind and of the field. Absolutes are tragic. They do much more damage than they advance the cause. Trying to lump things into being one way or the other is not wise. As stated in a previous video, sometimes it's both, sometimes it's neither. Now, another example. You must be thinking, well, surely you've heard of Descartes. I think, therefore I am. If Descartes can't refute the fact that he exists, how can you? Quite easily, actually. There are a few situations. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm aware the majority of them are a stretch, kind of a large one, but they're possible to me, and if it remains in the realm of possibility, then I cannot speak in absolutes against it. Okay. How can I prove, or how can I demonstrate that I am not certain that I exist? Okay. So, I could be a brain in a vat, or in a jar. This is not an original concept of mine. I'll try to quote in the description who came up with brain in a vat, but I could be a brain in a vat, being stimulated and given electrical signals, and this could all be the interpretation of a dream. And in that case, the I to which I refer when I say I does not exist. The William Hood, who, guess you get my name now. The William who was born in the country of Canada, on the planet of Earth, on the 8th of November in the year 1989. That person does not exist, and that person is the person to which I refer when I say I think. I'm not overly confident in the self. I don't think the self exists either. That's a video for another time. More accurately, I think the self does exist, but it is in our best interests to move forward as if it doesn't. Now, don't get me wrong, like I said, I exist, I perceive, the world exists, the Earth is round, gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared, I'm pretty sure. These are facts. If I didn't, well, okay, so I realize in order to function in the world that I live and in order to actually thrive and adapt, I do need to consider some of these things that are not factual to be factual. And that is a great power, somewhat limited to human beings, to make educated guesses, assumptions, and choices based on things that do not exist, that cannot be quantified, and even on incorrect information that can lead us to correct information. This differentiates us from a simple computer algorithm, which, again, another video for another time. And that's where I'm going to leave the video today, guys. I appreciate you swinging by. I am very likely to make a follow-up video to this. I'm confident I will spend the rest of the day today, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, thinking about this video, thinking about the things I discussed, thinking about what knowledge is, what facts are, and how to go about them. And I'm going to want to come back and say more. So watch out for that video if you're interested. I guarantee I'll have more to say. I very strongly suggest I will have more to say, as there are no guarantees. And that's it. Now, I hate this part, but I need you guys to subscribe. I know. I hate this. The most important thing for me on this YouTube channel is views. Specifically, I want to see that when people come into my video, they watch it to the end because they're interested to hear what I have to say. I don't care about likes. I don't care about subscriptions. Comments would be nice, opinionated comments. I want to hear what you think about these things. I'm not just throwing this into the void for no reason. So the reason I'm asking you to specifically subscribe is because I need 100 subscribers to get a custom URL. And I want to print that on business cards and start working the street. Like, when I get out there and I'm talking shop with somebody and we're talking philosophy and we just mesh like this, I want to be able to hand them my business card and say, hey, I make videos on these kinds of things. Maybe you want to be a guest. Maybe you want to check it out. So if you would be so kind as, I'm going to run on the treadmill. If you would be so kind as to subscribe so that I can get 100 subscribers and a custom URL, I'd be really grateful. Now, in actuality, I will leave you with this. Woohoo! Do you know what it would look like if I actually truly believed exclusively that nothing can be known? Because I'm pretty sure I have a theory. It wouldn't be good. You'd just end up with something like this.